All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome back. Week number 11 right here on Who's Number One. Actually, Who's Number One this week. Feels like we've been doing Who's Number Three for the last couple of weeks, but movement in the top 5. Let's get to it. Some good racing to get to this past weekend. California State Championships up north. The British Columbia State Championships. Steve Fisher takes the Seattle Cyclocross Series, takes the overall there. The UCI World Cup. 3 days of Jingle Cross racing and Bay State in Massachusetts. With no further ado, your women's rankings this week. All right, kicking things off this week, just inside your top 20, 19, 18, and 17, it's the New England women of Smith, Anthony, and Annis, or as we're going to call them from now on, the Triple Threat Trio. That's Tree. Oh. Number 12 this week, jumping up another 4 spots, goes 3rd place in the C1 at Jingle Cross. It's Julie Kresniak. It's a French woman. Number 9 this weekend, also your jump of the week. It's Mo Bruno Roy, goes 4th, and 2nd in Jingle Cross, a rider who always does well this time of year when things get muddy, when she's got to get off and run. Look for Mo to do big things the rest of this season. Number 8 this week, Teal Stetson-Lee takes her first UCI win of the season at Jingle Cross day number 2, and Laura Van Gilder, number 7, goes back-to-back 2 wins on a good sprinter's course at Bay State. Number 5! This week, Meredith Miller goes 1st, 2nd, and 1st, just cleans up out there at Jingle Cross this weekend. Number 4 and number 3 this week stays the same. Amy Dombrowski, number 4, Caitlin Antonu, number 3. Now, if you saw the World Cup results, Amy actually beat Caitlin by a couple of seconds, but you got to take into consideration Caitlin flies halfway around the world to get there. Amy living in Europe this season, so close enough, we're still going to give the edge to the young Caitlin Antonu. And still, your number 1 ranked rider in North America this week, despite taking 3rd place at Coxside at the World Cup, which, by the way, is the course that will host the World Championships in just a couple of months. It's Katie Compton. Good ride, but still got to get it together in the sand. Got to make it happen if she's going to get those rainbow stripes this January. Now, before we go any further, we talk a lot every week about who's number 1 in cyclocross, but what we don't talk enough about is who's number 1 in Twitter. So here it is, cycling tweets for math nerds. Now, take your top dogs in cyclocross. How do they stack up? Well, no surprise, Jeremy Powers, still number 1. Tim Johnson, very close. Both of these riders, though, twice as popular as Ryan Trebone, who, in return, is still twice as popular as Jamie Driscoll. Now, if you've seen Behind the Barriers or maybe some of his post-race interviews, a lot of you might think that Jamie Driscoll has, the sense of humor of paint drying on the wall. But we got into those numbers. We established the core tweet value, that number of followers earned per tweet put out there on the internet. So Jeremy Powers, your top dog, coming in with a 1.09 for number of new followers per tweet. But Jamie Driscoll coming in strong with a 3.96 new followers to tweet average. So Jamie Driscoll 4 times funnier on Twitter than Jeremy Powers. It's just the facts. And finally, the Venn diagram. So you'll see here the circle on the right, those fans following the top woman in the sport, Katie Compton. Now compare that to the circle on the left of actual cyclocross fans on Twitter. So on the right, Katie Compton fans, the overlap, the good cyclocross fans following everybody, and the circle on the left, you sexist pigs, you should be ashamed of yourselves. All right, men's rankings this week. Kicking things off with your drop of the week, going 22, 12, and 16th in Jingle Cross, it's Brady Capias. Now, some of you might know him from his new endeavor, Broken Carbon, spends a lot of time fixing bikes. Well, Brady, you gotta spend more time fixing your legs because you're just not getting it done. Now, 8 riders falling off the rankings this week, which means 8 new riders coming in strong, none more so than number 24, the French-Canadian. It's Raphael Gagne, the mountain biker, comes into Bay State Cross, goes 2nd place. Awesome. Number 16 this week, last week's jump of the week, backs it up, doubles up in Bay State, 2 wins. We're going to say it right here. Dylan McNicholas, top 10 national championships. Number 5, Todd Wells goes 4th, 3rd, and picks up the W in Jingle Cross, the last race of the season for our U.S. national champion. He calls it quits now, got a long mountain bike season ahead of him. Look for Todd Wells, 2012 in London. Number 4 this week, Ryan Trebone, sliding back in the rankings, but he has been able to train again. He's been putting in the time, putting in the physical therapy. He's been wearing the bubble pants, whatever it takes. Look for Ryan Trebone to get himself back in shape. Bend just a couple of weeks away. Number 3 this week, the funniest man on Twitter, Jamie Driscoll, taking himself a win at Jingle Cross. Now, your top 2 this week, finally, for the first time in 8 weeks, we've got a new number 1. Jeremy Powers falls off the throne, goes over to Coxside, just awful ride over there in the sand, couldn't get it done, and meanwhile, your new number 1 ranked rider in North America, One Win Tim. 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 That's right, Tim Johnson finally gets it done in Jingle Cross, the C1 on Sunday. Winner, top step of the podium, guys. That's it. We leave you now with a moment of silence for winless Timmy.
Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit lonely and you're never coming around. Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of listening to the sound of my tears. Turn around. Every now and then I get a little.
All right, guys, that's a wrap. Week number 11. Who's number one? 11 week. I can't believe we've been doing this for 11 weeks, but we got another one coming at you next weekend. Big stuff this weekend. East Coast versus West Coast. We got MBX in Rhode Island. We got UCI Racing in LA. It's going to be sick. Go ahead, guys. Come on. Just get in there. Get in that like button right there. Just, click it real hard. We'll see you guys next week.